Today I have samples of the Eco Dye workshop I did with several girls, and quite often it's an interesting experiment because it can make a difference in what kind of paper you use. This was a hairy bittersweet plant, and this is on cardstock. So not only the plant determines what color and design you get, but the type of paper, because the chemicals that were used in the paper. And here's the difference between this is a stationery, special stationery. It's got a little bit of lined, like a legal stationery. So you can see the difference there. And then this one is watercolor paper. It grabbed more of the rust and vinegar reactions, and it brought out some of the little teeny flowers that were in that bittercrest. So the difference in that, you can see the gray and brown tones came out in this paper much more. So I've done quite a few experiments over the years, and this workshop included all these pictures. That was the, I have it written somewhere, nettle, dead nettle, elderberry, another elderberry on the same paper. It was just in a different area in the batch because you bundle up all of them together. Another elderberry. This is on cardstock. This was a red tulip. We were all disappointed that the red petals did not show up. But this was a steamed batch, and so in the steaming, the plants get cooked, and some plants turned out like overcooked spinach. They were just mush, very hard to get off the paper. And you can't just wipe it off the paper because then the color moves across the sheet. This one had a washer in it, and this is rhubarb leaf, a little baby rhubarb leaf. This one had smaller washers in it, and it really left a shiny surface there, and dandelion roots. This was purple violets. I just laid the violets out. So the rest of the coloring is just from the rust water, the rust and the alum in the water. So our mordant was alum, and we painted all the pages with alum first. This is Lenten rose. Looks like a daffodil, but I did not use a daffodil. Did not have any. And that's on cardstock. That's a mullein with a washer laid there. Rusty washer. More mullein. Oregano. Another piece of oregano. Dandelions did not turn out much to them. Another piece of catnip that must have grabbed some of the rust. And this is grape hyacinth. The berries turned out pretty. I just fluttered them across. And that was the geranium. Then I did a batch of avocado dye, and the mordant was baking soda. And I used some stencils, an assortment of stencils in here. And these three were on top, so the rust must have penetrated much more on this particular one. like how that one turned out. Now this one had a lot of white in it, so I sprayed coffee spray on it to deepen the color because I didn't want so much white. And this one I did not spray with coffee. So this is the avocado skins. And this one I sprayed with coffee. All this darker area is coffee. That one was sprayed with coffee. This was sprayed with coffee. So the avocado, it was a lot of white avocado at the very edge. And this is avocado on watercolor paper. Then these are rust dyed. Both of these batches. This batch had more vinegar in it than this one did. And the vinegar is the mordant. So I like how these turned out. Nice rusty orangey color. And I don't iron my papers. I like them being textured like this. And that's watercolor paper. And it has some plants in it. I believe that's the nettle. And then coffee sprayed also. And that is just rusty nails. Lots of rusty nails. This was from an earlier batch, these two. And this one, earlier batch, because we don't have any leaves on our fig trees yet. And this is the chinkapin leaf. So this was a coffee and rust dye, and then I sprayed it with coffee. This is from the current batch. I just had a couple from an older batch. That's the geranium. And this is coffee dyed stencils. All these are stencils. And then these are way previous batches, and I put information on each of the cards, usually telling what type of dye it was, what kind of leaf it was, because some leaves turn out much better than others. Here, see, summertime has a lot more collection, of course, and they just turn out a lot prettier. So I put the leaf on here and the plant, rusty nails. So this is kind of a sample thing showing what kind of dye and what kind of mixture I did on that particular eco dye batch. And these, there's a whole little book of different eco dyes. These are pressed. So I have a whole collection of different types of plants so you can see which one's pressed good. And that was just put in a pasta machine and rolled, the paper rolled through with the leaf in between. And then these I brushed with vinegar so you can see the difference between the plant. Brushed with vinegar and rust. Yeah, these are all rust and vinegar. Once I pressed the leaf, then I brushed it with the rust and vinegar solution. These are, yeah, rust and vinegar also. And these are, yeah, just some more samples I didn't actually write. Yeah, pressed in the pasta machine and sprinkled with coffee. So each one of these experiments, I tried to write down what kind of solution, what the leaf was. That's almost like embossing. So it's coffee dye water bath, bundled with other colors. more color sheets. So this was dyed in a pan in a bath. Anyway, then I have samples of beet dye, rusty nails and vinegar, rust water. Must have been a lot more vinegar in to get this blacker color to it. So that's my dye workshop. And y'all have a good crafty day.